We're now joined on the dais by our three student athletes from VCU, Jaquan Lewis, Mo Ali Cox, and Melvin Johnson. Gentlemen, we'll take questions from the floor. Questions for our student athletes. Got a question on the aisle.
Jerry Ahern, USA Today Sports, for all three players, and Jaquan, maybe if you could go first. What's it been like to play under Coach Wade and see his youthful countenance out there on the court?
It's been big time. You know, Coach Wade is a great coach. I mean, he recruited me here, and it's a blessing to be able to play for him.
Same, pretty much. He just came and picked up from where we left off last year, continued the success. We started out 5-5, but once we got comfortable in his schemes and everything he wanted us to do, we've just taken off from there.
Got a question in the middle right.
Hi, guys. Janine Edwards, ESPN. I was reading the transcript from last night's presser, and Mel, you had said that you had sort of challenged the rest of your teammates, knowing this is your final year, be more aggressive, let it rip. I'm just curious, what's the message going to be for tomorrow's game? And all three of you could answer that, because I know it applies to Jaquan because he was talking to you, but it applies to Mo as well.
Same thing. I mean, it's ideal if your leading scorer can put up the numbers that's projected of him. But at the same time, Mo looked me off yesterday, and it was probably the best play of the game in my opinion, because he could have easily passed to me. I was wide open in the corner. We made eye contact, but he still went up and he scored. And that's the mentality I want those guys to have, to, you know, not just to look for me if that's the case, but for them to, you know, go ahead and make plays because they're big-time players as well.
You guys want to respond, please?
I mean, it takes a load off MJ, you know. Teams really pay him a lot of attention, and when other players get going, it kind of loosens him up and let him be able to play his game.
Pretty much like what I said Thursday, we just want to stay aggressive. Games like this, aggressive teams are the teams that normally do well, and teams that have multiple players step up besides their best players, because it's going to take a whole team effort to win tournament games.
Got a question on the outside right.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman. For Melvin, you guys, Virginia Commonwealth a few years ago was a Cinderella, you know, the mid-major that's hoping to spring the upset. You guys have changed that perception over the years. Has that changed the way you guys play in the NCAA tournament? Do you play with more pressure? It seems like the higher seeds play with more pressure, don't play as free. Have you noticed the way the pressure that you guys feel in the NCAA tournament when you get here?
Yeah, but it's not just about the NCAA tournament. It's about how we carry ourselves on and off the court before we even get here. We expect to win all season long, and we carry ourselves like winners. So when we get here, we expect to win regardless of who we playing. And when you get to the last 32 teams of the NCAA tournament, everyone is good, and you have, you know, Naismith Player of the Year candidates, et cetera, et cetera. So at this point, you just got to lace them up and play basketball.
Got a question in the middle left.
Garen Emig of the Tulsa World. For Melvin and Jaquan, for those of us who haven't watched you as much as your press has, your media, do you guys play a similar style that Coach Smart taught defensively? Do you pressure as intensely as you once did under Coach Wade, and what are the differences?
I mean, I feel like it's still the same, especially in the half court. It may not be full court pressure, but when we get in the half court, we really lock in and guard the ball.
Yeah, same principles as far as, you know, switching 1 through 4 a lot of the times, hedging hard with the 5. Our concepts off the ball, same terminology. I mean, they're great friends and they learn from one another. So, I mean, you pretty much inherit the same type of game plan.
Got a question on the left, and we'll come to the middle.
Myron Patton, Fox 25, here in Oklahoma City. You're basically playing a road game. This is for all of you. Basically playing a road game. What's the first thing you want to take away from Oklahoma?
It'd be ideal if we could take away the crowd, but I doubt that happened. Most importantly, we just want to even out the start. I feel like if they get off to a great start with the kind of atmosphere that they're going to have tomorrow, it can be a long night. But if we could just get out to an even start with them or better, that'd be ideal for us, because we'll be able to take a few blows as the game go. But I think just altering that fast start that they have from the 3-ball and in transition is huge for us.
Either of you other gentlemen want to comment?
No, he said it all.
Okay. In the middle right.
Okay, each of you could answer this, please, if you don't mind. I'm curious what you noticed or have had time to notice about what Cal State was able to do against Oklahoma that gave them a little bit of trouble, because I know Coach Kruger had said after the game that they had them out of rhythm, their spacing was off, they weren't able to take advantage of Bakersfield's press. What did you notice, and how can you try and use it to your advantage?
I mean, Bakersfield did a good job of pressuring the ball and running them off the three-point line. And, you know, Oklahoma is a great three-point shooting team, and I feel like once you take them off that, you put yourself in a good position to win.
They were just aggressive. They were aggressive with whatever they did. The way they kind of messed up, I was like on the offensive glass, which led to those led to the open threes that Oklahoma got. So I think if we do a good job on the glass, we could limit some of those threes that they get.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Mo said, it sounded as crazy as it may sound, they were more aggressive than Oklahoma. And Oklahoma has a dynamic backcourt, and they played inside out. They played through their big man from Egypt. I don't quite know him. Hamdi does. And I mean that's what we tend to do with our big fella. Get him the ball, let him make plays, make inside out threes if they double anything. So just be the aggressors, I guess you could say.
Got a question on the front left.
Kyle Frederickson with the Oklahoman. Melvin, talking with your athletic director earlier today, one thing he noted was that your relationship with Coach has really blossomed this year and how you guys trust each other, that in practice that he'll kind of let you take over certain aspects and say things to the guys that maybe other coaches wouldn't let happen. How has that relationship developed through this year with you and Coach and you guys trusting each other?
I mean, it's been big time. He's had a lot of trust in me, and he says it's a players program. So a lot of times in practice, if you see something, say something, and he'd rather it come from his senior leader. And I mean, he's, you know, like I said earlier, he's more of a father figure in the sense that he calls me. We talk about, you know, the opponents. We talk about things outside of that. We just have a relationship where it's bigger than basketball. So when you establish that, after that, it's pretty much an easy trust factor.
Questions for our student on the aisle.
How much of the rest of the tournament do you get to see? And when you see other quote unquote upsets, does that inspire you guys, or are you just playing your own game?
Yeah, we're just playing our own game. I mean, it's one or two major upsets, but outside of that, if you make it here, you're a great team. It's that simple. So everyone is playing, you know, like it's their last. It's a one-game elimination. I expect nothing less when you get to the NCAA tournament.
Question on the middle towards the rear.
Curtis Fitzpatrick, WWLS Radio. For you guys, what do you think the key is to handling Buddy Hield tomorrow?
I mean, just being aggressive. You know, he's a great player, but I mean, I'm sure we're ready for the matchup.
Just match his intensity that he brings to the floor and be with him step for step. You know, he's a great shooter, so we can't let him get any clean looks.
Players make plays. He's going to make his fair share. He makes a lot of tough shots as well. For the most part, just being there on every shot, contesting, and just having a body in between him and the basket at all times. I mean, players are always going to make plays, so that's the best we can hope for, you know.
Further questions for our student athletes? Okay, gentlemen, we're going to let you go back to the locker room. If you want to follow them to the locker room, you need to go out the back door, please, and we'll get the